Okay, this is me being a bit stupid time again. I've decided that I'm going to put a colour film in in a Zenit 11 camera. I'm not 100% sure I've actually used this camera before. I've got a range of Zenit or Zeniths, as well sometimes marketed in the UK. The one I got as an 11-year-old was a Zenit E, which was a 1980 model. But I've also got an EM, a couple of Bs, a TTL. As I got older in my teenage years, I did use Praktikas, and I've got a number of those. I've got a Praktika TL1000 and subsequently got some Praktika Bs. Got a Kiev, Olympus Trip and things. But this is the camera I'm gonna use. Over the last 4 or 5 years, I've taken quite a few rolls of film on in black and white, but I'm gonna go back into colour, which is expensive and stupid, really. But here it goes. I just want to use this camera and see what I can get out of it. I've just checked the light meter. And the light meter seems to be okay. It's one of these light meters that uses a solar panel, which then moves a little tiny needle, and then you have to move the little marker to match up with the needle, and then assuming that you've set the film speed correctly, you can then use any of these combinations of shutter speed and aperture. Shutter speed's been there and aperture's been there to get your photograph as you want. I don't actually know if this is a automatic lens. Yes, it is. It's an automatic lens. So I don't know if you can see the iris inside of the camera going in and out. But basically, it shuts the iris down and then takes a picture. And then when you let go of the trigger, it goes back to a full iris. The full iris is useful when you're using the viewfinder, because it gives you a nice bright image, and because of where this camera works, you also actually get to see through the viewfinder the stop down lens as well, which although it makes the picture darker, will allow you to check your depth of field. So from that point of view, it's a very useful camera. Although this solar panel thing is electric, call it electronic, but it's certainly electric, but the rest of the camera is clockwork. So the shutter is clockwork, the timer is clockwork, so it's very, very heavy, and what have you. So let's put the film in, I suppose. Here we go. Film at the moment, especially in the UK anyway, is very expensive. I think this cost about £13, which is ridiculous, really. I mean, you used to get film basically free when you used to get your prints made. Again, I paid £1 for a film, you know. But it's got the correct information on, in that it expires after the day. It's got 1.5 years on this film, basically. It's a 200 speed film, so I need to make sure that that's set to 200, and it is, so that's good. You have to pull the lever up to release the door like that on this one. It's got a cloth shutter on this camera, which goes across like that. If we put it on to B, we should hopefully be able to see that one shutter opens and then the other shutter closes, and that happens anywhere from 1/30th of a second up to 500th of a second. It's not a great range. These cloth shutters were limited in their fastest speeds. Right, so let's get the film in here. He's bringing back memories. You know. Yeah, well, certainly looks like colour film. There should be C41 with a bit of luck. Yeah, C41 process. That's the standard colour process. ISO 200, which I've already said. 36 exposures. So the film goes in there like so. Close that down. And bring the film out. Put it. Oh, on some of the other Zenit cameras, you've got to tuck it under a little metal flap, but it looks like on this one it just goes through a hole like that. It's very important to make sure that the sprockets are engaged, and in fact if you turn it like that, you then got to make sure that the other sprockets engage like so. So now both sockets are engaged, the film is sitting within the guides correctly, that's correct. So now I can shut the door at the back, and the film on, take up the tension, just gentle like that, there we go, and then basically wind on two pictures, one, two, set the counter to 0, which you've got to do manually on this, so it's gone to 0, and in theory that should now be good to go. So let's see what we get out of it, Let's see indeed. Now unfortunately this camera does have the Pentaprism fault, which you will be able to see there as a vertical line going up and down the screen. Now in reality, when you're looking through the viewfinder, it doesn't look that bad. It just looks like a slightly grey patch going down the middle. In fact, if I can somehow get the camera to focus on the image I'm looking at instead of focusing on that fault, you might be able to see it a bit better. No, I can't. But anyway, there you go. That gives you a better idea of what the error looks like, although it's not quite as dark as that. It's caused by the foam rotting in the top of the Pentaprism and then damaging the silvering. What I've actually done with this one is used silver mirror paint to try and alleviate the worst of the problems. And like I say, when you're using the camera, it doesn't look as bad as what you might think looking through there. On the subject of lenses, this is a Rexar lens, which apparently was made in Japan. It's does it tell you what millimeter it is? Should tell you somewhere. Oh, there we are, 28mm. So it's a wide angle lens. So that's the one I'm probably going to take with me and take the majority of the photographs on. So let's see how that goes. Okay, so I think these are the negatives I've just got back from the Zenit, and like I say, I've got no idea if the Zenit really is working properly. It's been a funny old summer, and I didn't really use the camera as much, or indeed the way I wanted to. So I don't think there's going to be any pictures on here of any great interest. And yeah, it's all been a bit of a disaster really. But the big question is there actually anything at all on these negatives, or have I just got a piece of blank film? I honestly don't know, and I've probably forgotten what pictures I've taken, so it's all going to be here. So pull this out. Oh yeah, there we go. What have I got? Well, I've definitely got negatives. Oh, and there's something on the negatives. I can see pictures on there. There's a couple of faint pictures. Right, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll turn the light off. right, there's definitely something on these negatives, and that is very good. Right, so now I've got to scan them and find out what I have or have not got. Okay, I'm going to take you through this scanning process on my rather antiquated setup I've got here. So this is an old school film scanner, and I've put my piece of film in, my negative, my first, what looks like the first proper photograph I took. So that's sat in there. The lights on, and it's a fluorescent tube, so that's taking time to warm up. So that should be good. My computer's a Linux machine, but it has on it Windows XP in a sort of virtual world. So right, okay. So Konica 100 negative, right? That'll do me. And scan. This is preview. Okay, so it's calibrating the scanner. Now this is basically fast mode. It's calibrating the scanner. Right, and it's scanning there now. When it makes that rough scanning noise, that means it's doing a preview, because I think it skips lots of lines in order to make the scan appear as quickly as possible. And the picture should appear here. Oh, and there we go. And that is a picture of my caravan with a black and white TV. And yeah, that would have been several months ago when I took that. It's actually exposed the picture quite good. It's bleached out the outside, but I expect that. Okay, so I want it to be 16-bit. I want a quality scan, and press the scan button. Put the date in like that, I think. Okay, TIFF for now, and go. So this is going to be a lot slower. And you should also notice that the scanner is going to be a lot quieter this time, because it's going to be scanning the way it should be. This scanner runs at 1,800 dots per inch, which sounds like a lot, but you got to remember that the negative's not much over an inch wide, so you know, you're not going to be getting massively high resolutions out of this scanner. See how slow it is. Right, so it said it was putting it into my documents, so let's see what we can find. My documents, my pictures probably, no. Better wait for it to finish, I think. Skipping a part here, aren't I? So you see, this is not exactly a quick process. I mean, I'm going to have to do this for, well, potentially 36 pictures. I mean, probably not. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some duds on here that I'm going to not even bother scanning. But you know, but it is interesting with film that, you know, you get the film back, whether it's prints or negatives like this, and you do kind of forget what you took. So it is a bit of a revelation, really, about a time gone by where you've taken these pictures, and you know, it suddenly becomes back into your brain, conscious. Right, here we go. Right, transferring data. Okay, so where's my pictures? Not in there. Not in there. Not in there. Oh, there she is. And there she is. I haven't done too bad with that picture. It's considering it was taken indoors under probably very little light. It's perhaps a little bit soft. You can see here, this is a CRT black and white TV, and you can see that when the shutter's open, that the frame has only started there and gone down, so you get this rather weird. You know, this here will represent the time that the shutter was open, and then these black areas are when the shutter was shut. Bleached out background. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So that's it. So my Zenit camera, it looks like it's been working okay. I might put a few extra prints in this video after this, but there you go. My Zenit 11 camera with colour film in. The first colour film I've shot in must be at least 10 years, and let's see what I've got.